mamas, have you ever wondered if the little things you do as a mom really matter? The truth is, discipleship doesn't always look like a family devotional with lit candles and everyone sitting quietly. More often, it looks like bedtime prayers, quick car conversations, or reading a Bible story on a night when you are already exhausted. Stay with me. In a moment, I'll share how one simple bedtime story led to my son's baptism. Hi, I'm Stacy, and welcome back to Families with Grace, where Christian moms find encouragement for faith, parenting, and family life. This is week 3 of the free Grace-Filled Parenting Study, and we're talking about discipling your children daily. So every week during this study, I share encouragement, free printables, and simple steps you can use right away. You can get this week's free printable, which is 50 conversation starters for families, by signing up for the study emails or inside the Christian Moms with Grace private Facebook group. I have links for all of that in the description for you. So let's get into it, because discipling our children is one of the most important things we can do as Christian moms, and it is so much easier and less intimidating than it sounds. You know, we talk a lot in the Christian community about sharing our testimonies. We work hard to tell others what Jesus has done for us, and that's great, as we should. But sometimes we overlook the most important people to share this with, our children. Psalms 78, 4-7 say, "We will tell the next generation the praiseworthy deeds of the Lord, his power, and the wonders he has done." So the next generation would know them, even the children yet to be born, and they in turn would tell their children. Then they would put their trust in God and would not forget his deeds, but would keep his commands. This verse reminds me of one of my favorite memories with my son. When he was about 4, we had just finished reading all of the stories in the Jesus Storybook Bible, and we were sitting together on his Jeep bed. After we read about having a relationship with Jesus, he looked up at me and said, "I want that." We talked a bit more to make sure he understood what he was saying and what he was asking for. Then we prayed together that night. Just last year, he was baptized. And now at 12, he is still passionate about Jesus. He's even become the go-to kid in his friend group when it comes to faith questions, and I love that. We read through the same Bible and others with our daughter as well. She's now 15 and has a classroom full of preschoolers each Sunday morning who listen to her share all about Jesus. She even writes curriculum for the entire children's department at our church. Reading Bible stories, praying before bedtime, and talking about God shaped her life also. And now she is already passing that on to the next generation. Those little moments of reading, praying, and talking about God really have added up over the years. Even on the nights when I was exhausted, when the laundry was piled high and I didn't feel like I had anything left to give, that faithfulness in the ordinary bore fruit. Because discipleship doesn't always happen in big moments. It happens in those everyday choices to keep showing up. Of course, big practices like going to church regularly also matter, but the daily moments are what really fill in the spaces between Sundays. So how do we disciple daily without adding pressure or way more to our to-do list? I have 4 simple ways you can start this week, plus a bonus tip just for moms that you don't want to miss. First is pray out loud in the ordinary moments. It doesn't have to be long. Pray in the carpool line, over a scraped knee, or when you see an ambulance go by. Show your kids that prayer is natural and constant. When your children are younger, say bedtime prayers together. As they get older, talk about specific requests and pray for friends, teachers, or family members. The bottom line is to make conversation with God a normal part of life. Another really great way to disciple your kids is to ask one faith question a day. At dinner or bedtime, try a question like, "Where did you see God at work today?" This helps your kids connect their faith to everyday life. And I will say, at first, it really may feel awkward, but here's the beauty. Ask a few times and your kids, and you, will start looking for God throughout the day, just so you'll have something to share. That's discipleship and faith in action. Doing something like this also keeps lines of communication open about faith between you and your children. My husband and I have always told our kids they can ask us anything about faith. If we don't know, then we'll find the answer together. If God can't stand up to our questions and theirs, He's not a God worth serving. And that openness has built trust. Third, weave worship into your daily routines. Play a worship song in the kitchen or read a short verse before bed. Faith then becomes part of the atmosphere in your home. And I know I say this often, but worship music is big for us. Now that I've got a tween and a teen, we spend a lot of time in the car. So my default playlist is worship music. It helps them and it helps me too. I have a link to one in the description for you. Fourth, give your kids the right resources. When they're young, use children's Bibles written for short attention spans. They're getting the stories and learning the love of God, even in those short reading sessions. As they get older, help them find what works best for them. For example, my son, who's dyslexic, prefers the Action Bible, which is a graphic novel style. My daughter prefers her Teen Girls Bible with devotions built into it. Both are different and both work well to meet my children where they are and open their hearts to God, which is what we want the most. And here's that bonus tip. Don't forget yourself, Mama. Whisper a breath prayer like, Jesus, guide my words today. When we keep inviting God into our ordinary, it spills over to our kids because God wants you to succeed in discipling your children even more than you do, and He will give you the words and the wisdom that you need. And that leads us to our big reflection question for the week. What's one everyday moment where you can intentionally point your kids toward Jesus? Maybe it's bedtime, maybe it's in the car, maybe it's while folding laundry. Discipleship doesn't have to be big, it just has to be faithful. Children are much more likely to model what we do and how we act over what we say. The little everyday moments of living out our faith are what make the biggest impact. To help you in talking with your kids on a deeper level and also have some fun conversations too, I've created a free printable with 50 family conversation starters. They're perfect for dinner, bedtime, or car rides. I've got simple questions that can spark really meaningful conversations with your family. You can get them for free when you sign up for the Grace-Filled Parenting emails or inside the Christian Moms with Grace private Facebook group. I have links for you in the description for all of them. And if you'd like to go deeper, the Grace-Filled Parenting Study Journal has daily prompts, breath prayers, affirmation cards, and reflection space to help you notice God in your parenting. Mama, discipling your kids doesn't mean being perfect or having sermon-ready devotionals. It means showing up, trusting God, and doing your best in the small moments. And those little things you're doing, they make an eternal difference. Sign up below to grab your freebie, subscribe so you don't miss week 4 of the study, and join us in the Christian Moms with Grace Facebook group. Thanks for being here for week 3 of the Grace-Filled Parenting Study. Next week, we're going to talk about really trusting God with your parenting journey. And if you've missed anything from weeks 1 or 2, I have linked the full Grace-Filled Parenting Study playlist in the description for you, so you can catch up anytime or rewatch whenever you need some encouragement. Remember this, Mama. You've got this because God's got you. See you next time.